Big screens with all your college and pro action. Sunday Funday will also be stocked with the biggest Bloody Mary and Mimosa bar, along with the NFL Sunday Ticket and food trucks out back. Check out the Buccaneer Music Hall, open every day noon until 2 a.m. with live music every night, and now football and food trucks during the day.
0% alcohol, 0 grams of sugar, full Budweiser flavor. For all the moments you want a beer and need to stay on your game. Budweiser Zero, 0 alcohol, 0 compromise.
Hey Pirate Nation, Lindsey Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Jeff Gibson with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Warren's Hot Dog Pizza. Homemade lemonade.
Hey, Pirate Nation, are you ready for some Warren's hot dogs? Warren's original Hot and Judy's Mild Sweet Chili Hot Dogs have been the official hot dog of sports fans for over 30 years. Pick up a tailgate special this football season of 10 or more hot dogs for only $1.50 each. Warren's in Greenville across from Ron Ayers Motorsports and the new Chocowinity location next to the fire department. Warren's Hot Dogs. Want some? Get some. Go Pirates.
University PC Care has been busier than ever repairing personal PC and Mac computers and iPhones during this pandemic. And we thank you for your support. Now, with everyone streaming and doing work from school and home, you may have discovered that your home Wi-Fi just isn't cutting it. It may be time to upgrade your home network, and University PC Care can help. To make a network assessment appointment and discover upgrade options that fit your home, go to talktowilliam.com or learn more at universitypccare.com.
I'm Sam Jones, and for more than 3 generations, my folks have kept the fires burning for Eastern North Carolina Whole Hog Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out wood-fired meats, cooked fresh every single day. There are no freezers at our place. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Stop in and see us, and I bet you'll be able to taste our passion in just one bite. At Sam Jones Barbecue, you'll find plenty of smoke, but no mirrors.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, The Gavigan Agency, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, BMS Builders, and The Rick House.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Okay, happy Monday, everybody, and welcome into our show. Got a very special treat today. The head coach of the Pirates, Mike Houston, will join us for most of the hour coming up. East Carolina heads to Houston to take on the Cougars coming up this Saturday as a 14-point underdog. The Pirates are 3-3 on the season. Of course, the goal is to get to 6 wins to become bowl eligible, and the Pirates are halfway there, halfway through the season. 3-3 and heading to Houston to take on the Cougars. Mike Houston, the head coach of the Pirates, joins me. I had a chance to catch up with him late last week, and that's coming up for you right after this. This is the Brian Bailey Show on a Monday, and we'll be back after this.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, football is back, just how you remembered it. Tailgates with an ice-cold Pepsi in hand? Totally back. That between play sprint to the fridge for more Pepsi is back, baby. I really miss this. Anyways, consider this your official excuse for always putting football watching first, courtesy of Pepsi. That haircut appointment, your mom told us you look great, so you should probably reschedule. Seeing the in-laws for the first time in ages.
It's been so long.
Nope, sorry, Susan, not if it's on Sunday. Long story short, after the year we've all had, we think you could use a little football watching. So crack open a Pepsi and cheer your football watching face off. With love, Pepsi. Made for football watching. That's what I like.
Hi, this is Billy Parker from Parker's Barbecue. Did you know that we cater? Let us cater your next private event, church gathering, or backyard party. From traditional pig pickings to regular chopped barbecue, Parker's has anything you need. Parker's, where you're always treated like family.
It's bow time. You've probably heard folks say, don't call it a comeback. But at Bojangles, we don't like to beat around the bush. So when the sizzling, savory pork chop griller's back in all its tender, marinated chili lime glory, and you can get a pork chop griller combo for just $4.59, go ahead, call it a comeback. Get a legendary pork chop griller combo for just $4.59, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
Safety comes first at Greenville Utilities. Did you know that by itself, natural gas is completely odorless? As a safety precaution, a chemical is added to the gas that gives it a distinctive and unpleasant odor. This allows you to detect the slightest amount of natural gas both indoors and outdoors. If you smell a strong odor of natural gas in or near your home, you should immediately call Greenville Utilities. GUC maintains staff around the clock in order to provide immediate response to emergencies such as natural gas leaks. You can count on GUC to keep safety job number one.
Do you have any real estate questions about buying or selling residential or commercial properties? Are you curious about this current real estate market? Do you need a property manager for all your rental houses? This is proud ECU alum Scott Harris with RE/MAX Preferred Realty and SD Harris Properties, and I would love to help answer every question you have and show you a real estate experience that will be memorable and enjoyable. Every step of the way, I'm here to make your dreams a stress-free reality. Call me today at 347-1857. That's 347-1857. Go Pirates.
Pirate Nation, the newest sports bar is Quarters Bar and Grill, offering gourmet burgers, hot dogs, and wings with unique flavors Greenville has never seen. Pirates like to drink too. Quarters Bar and Grill offers a selection of 10 beers on tap and over 50 different craft beers. Come check us out at Quarters Bar and Grill, open Wednesday to Sunday, 11 to 11, located at the shopping center next to Krispy Kreme. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram and be on the lookout for Quarters Cash hidden around downtown Greenville. Quarters Bar and Grill, the plunder never tasted so good.
This is Tim Doust, ECU Football Special Teams Coordinator, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday. Mike Houston, head football coach at East Carolina, joins us. The Pirates at 3-3, set to take on the Houston Cougars this week. We're going to go through the season, talk a little bit about what's been going on with Pirate football with the bye week, that kind of thing. Coach, first of all, welcome to the show on this Monday.
Good to be on. So it's good to have a chance to catch our breath during the bye and prepare for the second half of the season and kind of evaluate the first half of the season. So and really excited for playing at Houston next week and what the future holds.
Take us back through the bye week now. As far as practices go, some downtime, you were able to give some of the travel squad, that kind of thing.
Well, Sunday we did not practice. We spent all day on the film from Central Florida the night before. Didn't sleep very much Saturday night when we got back, so didn't sleep very much Sunday night either. But that's the tough thing of having the bye after a very, very close game, a tough loss. Right there at the end of the game, is it sits with you a little bit longer than it would if we had a game this week. So, but anyway, spent the Sunday, looking at that tape very close. Really looked. You had more time to really evaluate some things that went well and some things that didn't. So that was good. And spent a lot of time with the kids. Gave them, took a little bit of, stress off their bodies with the day. Monday had a helmeted practice, a lot of special teams work, introduction of Houston. It's fall break, so didn't have classes, so able to get a little bit of weight work in. Also had a guest speaker come in who I've known for a long time. He talks to a lot of NFL teams, a lot of college teams across the country. Shep, very impactful story, very impactful human being, and he spent some time Monday afternoon with our roster, just from a character development standpoint. Tuesday was a heavy practice day. Wednesday was a heavy practice day. Full pads, a lot of competition. You have some guys that have bumps and bruises, so those guys maybe didn't get as much work. They're doing some more rehab and treatment and stuff. You have some guys that you really want to bring along to try to help you somewhere down the stretch. Get more guys on the field playing, and so really spent a lot of time investing in those. Able to get Holton some rest and some work, if that makes sense. Probably took a little bit of a load off of the total snaps he took this week, but worked some very specific things that he needed to work just to help him play better the second half of the season. Mason's a little banged up, so he couldn't do anything for a couple of days. He got a little bit of work towards the end of the week, but the good thing about this week is it did help him get back healthy going into the second half of the season. So accomplished a lot. Had a very spirited scrimmage with some of our down the line guys, some young guys that'll be great Pirates for us here in the coming future, and some guys that are playing a little bit but aren't maybe starters just yet. So a chance to let them scrimmage, get some live work, some game situation work, because those are the guys that aren't getting it right now, and that's great because you have guys that you have big plans for, or guys that you think are almost ready, and so to get them in a game situation, you're able to evaluate them and you're able to give them a chance to show what they can do. And I told the players there will be one or two guys coming out of this week that maybe have not played for us in the first half of the season that are going to have a chance to play for us and help us in the second half of the season because of this week, and that's why you do all those things.
Before we take a look at the season to date, I wanted to bring this up. We get a chance to go on the road. We do your coach's show for television after the game, and I think the one thing that I've really been impressed with is that coach's show is really the raw emotion of Mike Houston after a game. And we've had all kinds of emotions after these 6 games. I mean, you've been on a roller coaster ride. I think back to Charlotte, the disappointment in that game. I think back to the Marshall game and the euphoria after the win, the comeback win. I think back to this past week against UCF, and just trying to, because it's my job to ask questions, it's your job to kind of talk about the game, but it's easier after those come from behind wins against Marshall, isn't it?
Well, I think I've gotten more gray hair in the past year than that's the reason.
It's rubbing off.
That's the reason I keep it cut so short. But no, I mean, the one thing I always try to be is authentic. I try to be that way with our kids. I try to be that way with our coaches. I try to be that way with people I come into contact with. Is just try to be real. And I try very hard when answering questions with the media and stuff, and I try to not to dwell, trying to give coach speak. I try to give real answers and honest answers, and I know sometimes you have to protect some information. That's understandable, but I try as best as I can to be straight, with our fan base and with the media and everything, and so those emotions are very real, and I am very much aware of my feelings on my shirt sleeves kind of guy. I'm not a very good poker player. I just I kind of say what I think and try to do it respectfully, but nobody ever has to worry much about how I feel about things, and that's great. That's great when it's going great. It's that you see the real hurt for the kids. After a couple of games, I mean, that South Carolina game. I hurt for our players because I know how badly they want to win, and you spend so much time with these kids. I mean, it's why I was pretty adamant about defending Holton early in the year, is I have spent so much time with him over the past 3 years, and we have a very close relationship, and I know how hard he works, and I know what potential he has, and I know what he can and can't do, and I believe in him, and I think that when you have someone that you care about like that, and you do have that belief in them, you want to see them have the success as a result of their hard work, and that's why I was so excited after the Tulane game because you saw the performance that you knew he was capable of. And so, good, bad, or otherwise. I don't know how everybody feels about some of the post game stuff, but it's real.
Yeah, it is real. All right, let's go through the games so far this season. East Carolina falls to Appalachian State in the opener, the Dukes Mayo Classic, and I think back to that trip to Charlotte and just the excitement of a new season and even the excitement of a real season when you look back to 2020.
You had fans.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, an interesting thing that so many of our kids said after that game, because you don't realize we have 77 first and second year players in our program. So the vast majority of our roster, that was the first game they had played in front of a crowd. But so many of them talked about they didn't expect that. They didn't expect to not be able to hear on the field. It's great. You want to play in those games. You want to play in front of rowdy, crowds and stuff. But you do have to develop experience in playing in that kind of setting. So it was a great experience for our team. I told Coach Clark I would love to continue some type of series with Appalachian State. I love that venue because it had a bowl type feel to it. It was a great experience for our team. Wished we'd have played better. I think it was a great, kind of next hurdle for our kids of, if we want to do the things we say we want to do, we've got to be able to beat the teams of this caliber. And, I think that, knowing what that game was like, I think it helped prepare us for the games in the coming weeks.
It was our first really glimpse of Keaton Mitchell, what he can do when he gets loose on that swing pass. And he's had a great season so far this year, but it started in Charlotte.
It did. And I felt like it was coming. I really did. I said many times in the off season, obviously everybody's focus from fans and media was Rajay Harris, which is should be. I mean, right. He's a great player, and he had a great year last year. But I kept saying, we have two starting tailbacks. I mean, I feel very much like they both are starting caliber players in this league. Everybody looks at me sideways sometimes when I say stuff like that. But so I'm glad Keaton had my back and kind of showed everybody why I was saying those things, because he does that stuff in practice. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer. If you do it in practice, you're going to do it on game day. And I tell our players that all the time. You are going to play how you practice. And so I knew he had it in him. It was great to see it in that ball game, and he's backed it up continually week in and week out since.
Ours fell on that opener 33-19. Next up was South Carolina. Big crowd at Dowdy Ficklen Stadium. Great to see that again. Absolutely. And it's one of two games in the first half of the season when you think back, and it's a game of missed opportunities.
It is, and we couldn't start it any better.
Yeah.
So, we won the toss. We took the ball, and one play Sneed to Hatfield, and it's maybe the quickest score in ECU football history. I mean, I don't know if you'd have to look that up. Yeah. What's the quickest touchdown in program history? That has to be one of the top ones, if not the top. So, great execution right there. Got the game off to a great start. Built a 14-0 lead. The big play was the intercepted screen pass, and right before the halftime, which gives South Carolina some life, because we were getting ready to score again and really would have put them behind the 8 ball. But it came back, and it was a great game. Went down to the last seconds. Certainly we had our chances to win it. South Carolina had the chance with a huge kick there at the end to win it, and came out on the short end of it. So disappointing loss, but you had an SEC team on the ropes at home, and those are the games. That's the next step for the program. Is all of a sudden we win that game. That's what we got to do.
I talked to Holton Ahlers on the sideline during that game, and I told him, I said, man, Tyler threw the heck out of that football. And he said, look, I told him, just throw it as far as you can because my man will run under it. And he did. That was a great play.
I mean, Josiah has great speed. And you're right. When he first cut it loose, I thought he'd overthrown him. But it may be hard to overthrow Josiah Hatfield because he can roll.
That's what Holton said. All right, East Carolina 0-2 on the season. You go to Huntington, West Virginia, which historically has been a tough place for East Carolina to play, and you get behind in that game, and you're steering 0-3 right in the face, aren't you?
Well, I don't know if I ever. I didn't really think of it that. I was just trying to.
thinking of it that way.
Yeah, you can do that. I love the way we played in the first half of that ball game. I tried to be very aggressive with decisions I was making. The kids were making the plays. we got the couple of big fourth downs right there in the end of the second quarter, and got the big score right before the half to pull it to within 3. Just such a great back and forth first half. A tough third quarter where Marshall took control of the game with a couple of really good drives. We knew they were going to be able to score. Their quarterback came into the game scoring right at 50 points a game, and their quarterback's very, very talented. So we knew we were going to have our hands full. But they took control of the game. But boy, I'll tell you what, what a comeback there in the fourth quarter, and just so many big plays by so many different people. Whether it's Shane Calhoun or Holton or Keaton or Rajay or Sneed or Audie, a couple of big catches by him, a huge onside kick executed by Owen Daffer, and really, once that happened, I looked at Holton in the huddle, and I said, "All right, we got plenty of time. Just take our time. We're getting ready to score and win this thing," and we did. And then had to hold on, and Jaquan McMillan with a huge interception. We work red zone coverage a lot, and he executed it perfectly and made the interception there to seal the ball game, and what a celebration that was. I'm telling you, that was a good locker room, and that was a fun bus ride, plane ride, back to Greenville, North Carolina. So just what a big win for those kids.
I know you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, as am I, and it reminded me of the days of Roger Staubach and some of the comebacks that they would have, and that's when I fell in love with football, just watching, because they were never out of a game, and Captain America, Roger Staubach bringing the Cowboys back, and it kind of just reminded me of a game like that.
Well, I wasn't around for Roger Staubach. Troy Aikman.
You're more the Troy Aikman era. I keep forgetting I'm a little older than you are.
Danny White. I got Danny White. Yeah, Danny White. Troy. No, Roger Staubach. I certainly have seen plenty of the highlights, but it's great comeback and one for the ages, and a big win for our program. And I knew that coming into the season, I had confidence in our team. I told them, I said, you're going to have a chance every single Saturday to win. Every Saturday. There's not one on our schedule I don't think we can't win. But
you're right.
There's every single game on this schedule is a tough one. And I knew that the first half of our schedule was extremely challenging. And so to be able to pull that one off after the close loss the week before to South Carolina, just a big moment for our program, a big win for this team this year. Really a substantial achievement right there.
This is the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back with more with head coach Mike Houston after this.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. The Braves get by the Dodgers 5-4 with another walk-off win to take a 2-1 lead in the National League Championship Series over L.A. Eddie Rosario had 4 hits, including the game-winning RBI. In the ALCS, it's Game 3 tonight in Boston between the Red Sox and the Astros. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. First pitch is at 8 o'clock. The Panthers lost to the Vikings in overtime 34-28. Carolina drops to 3-3 on the season. The Washington football team lost to the Kansas City Chiefs 31-13. Washington is 2-4. Tonight it's the Seahawks versus the Steelers. We'll have the game on Pirate Radio at 8 o'clock. And East Carolina gets ready for a weekend on the road in Houston coming up on Saturday against the Cougars. Kickoff time will be at 4 o'clock. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's newest restaurant and the city's only true chop house. We combine a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Seared, a quality-driven experience highlighting a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house. Come see us, Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork or SearedChophouse.com.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 8 to 10 for the Golf Shop Radio Show. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're gonna love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop.
You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
Welcome back to the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday. Mike Houston, head football coach at East Carolina, is my guest, and we're running through the Pirates season to date. East Carolina at 3-3. We're on game number 4. East Carolina knocking off Charleston Southern 31-28. This turned out to be a little booger bear game, didn't it?
Yeah, it is. Now, another piece of your livelihood depending on 18 to 21-year-olds. Social media. Everybody on social media is an expert. Everybody's got an opinion. So, after we played South Carolina, I think everybody decided to tell our kids they stunk. They weren't any good. After we beat Marshall, everybody's telling them, how this game should be over by halftime, and everybody's going to play and all that stuff. Well, you got to play. And you got to be prepared to play. We didn't practice well during the week. I preached to them from Sunday on just about you're playing a FCS team that has a great athlete at quarterback, that a lot of seniors, very experienced team. They're going to come in here and they're going to take their shot. They're going to play very well, and it's a big game for them. Mentally, we were not ready to play at the level we need to play at. We learned a valuable lesson. You got to prepare every single week. Hopefully that lesson holds true, that we won't have anything like that the rest of the way, because every game you've got to be at your best, and the mentality of how you play the game, to me, is the most important piece. It's what we're trying to build the program on. That's a great, I can point to that game repeatedly, with the guys that are on this roster, and so many of them are going to be here for multiple years in the future. I can always point to that game as a reminder of, hey, you got to make sure your mind's ready to go play each game day.
And with what you said, if you look at the game, you fall behind 14-0, and then the guys just roared through the second quarter. So in their minds, they thought it was going to be easy, got off to a slow start. Now it's easy, but you can't turn it on and turn it off again, can you?
No, and it's the same thing in the third quarter. You had a chance to really put the game out of reach in the third quarter, and had some mistakes. Had some plays where we didn't make the play, and so it let them hang around. And if you let a team like that hang around, it's going to be exactly the way that was at the end. Where you're fighting and scrapping and holding on to be able to find a way to win it. Now, fortunately, anytime you can learn that lesson and win the game, yeah, that's a good thing. Hey, wins are wins. Wins are hard to come by, and everybody thinks just win. Well, listen, wins are hard to come by at the college level, and I've been fortunate. I've won a lot, but they're hard to come by, and every week is a fight, and so we got the win. We're 2-2, fantastic.
Pirates then hosted Tulane, and the Pirates rolled in this game 52-29. Best outing of the season by far. 612 yards of offense, 302 through the air, 310 on the ground. Keenan Mitchell, 222 yards, just short of Chris Johnson's record of 223 from the Hawaii Bowl. But everything came together against Tulane.
Well, what a great week. Really challenged our players that week. What a great weekend. Homecoming weekend. Pirate Nation was at its best. The fans were here, the alums were here, the festive spirit around homecoming. A very talented Tulane team came in here, and boy, the kids were ready to play and played very, very well. Everything about the game. The lows, just weren't very many of them, and the ones that were didn't last very long, but there were highs constantly. Just the play of so many guys. Keaton had another huge day. Audie Amatosho had a big day. Ryan Jones had a big day. Holton had a huge day. Mason Garcia had a big day. Just so many guys making plays. Defensively, J-Mac with another big interception. So many defenders flying around, just laying huge hits. I mean, that's the one thing that stands out. Is the way our defense played from a contact standpoint, and what a performance by the offensive line, just dominating the line of scrimmage in that game, and just another great celebration there in the locker room afterwards. And it's what you hope homecoming's like, for your kids, for the fan base. And I tell the teams every year, homecoming is about the fans. It's about everybody coming back, and our job is to give them something to be excited about and something to celebrate. And so certainly the players came through.
You spoke about the offensive line, and I was walking down the sidelines during the game, and you came by the offensive line huddle with Coach Shankwaller and all the offensive linemen, and you were just praising them left and right. I mean, those guys, you had to feel really good about their effort, and had to feel really good about the words you shared with them.
Well, just that's the way we want to play. Just the physicality up front, the cohesiveness, the intensity, and that's really when you can get that consistently, play after play, game after game, that's really the key to the whole thing, is just having that group play like that, because they're the engine that makes the car go.
Is that the frustrating part about this offense? Because it's almost like the little girl with the curl. When she's really, really good, she's really, really good. But then, there's that other side, because when this offense is cranking up, it can't be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things. I mean, certainly, we play in a tough league. We play a tough schedule. The opponent has a lot to do with that.
Right.
But, I have confidence in our guys that when we're playing to the best of our ability, we can hang with anybody, and I say that without reservation. And so, for me, it's ensuring that we are prepared each week to the best we can be, and it's something that I spend more time evaluating that, just how we're preparing, and trying to get the players where they need to be mentality wise. And it's still an ongoing thing, but yeah, I'm still looking for just what button is the right one to push each week to get us to that point that we need to be to play at that high level.
Pirates with their first 3-game winning streak since 2014. What does that mean to you?
I think it's a next big step for the program, and it's it's one of those things when you took the job 2.5 years ago, you knew you had a lot of work to do. Certainly, we've all done a lot of work, players, coaches, administrators, fans. I mean, everybody's done a lot of work. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win big. Everybody wants to win yesterday. But, to be able to put together a streak like that's been a while since it's been that way, that's significant, because it shows significant progress. And, that gives the kids confidence. It gives everyone confidence. And now, you're playing against really quality teams, and it's not like it was my first year when you got here, and it's just tough every week. Now all of a sudden you go into every game, hey, we got a great shot right here. It's going to be a great game. We got to make the plays we need to make in the end to win it. And if we play really well, we may be able to put this one away. So it's the next step.
Speaking of great opportunities, UCF East Carolina down in Orlando this past week, and I know that's one that it got away from you guys. 20-16 was the final, and then you have an off week, and you talked about it earlier in the show, but it really makes the off week a little bit miserable at times, doesn't it?
Well, I think Monday morning, Tuesday morning, I'd wake up at 3 a.m. or something like that, and you're thinking about this play or that play or this call or that call, and what if you did this different, and how would they have done this or that? I mean, you replay it in your mind over and over and over again, and it took me about the middle of the week to get to where I had a decent night's sleep. So, because the kids are better. I mean, they handle this stuff a whole lot better than the coaches do. You know, and I'll tell you, the losses, as much as I enjoyed the Tulane win, you don't enjoy the wins as much as you torment yourself over the losses, and that's just the way they are. And that one, the frustrating thing about that one, you know, for me is just, you know, winning that game it's almost like a statement game, because in that locker room, my first year, there was no lower point than halftime against UCF down there. You know, down 35-7, non-competitive. You know, wondering what in the world I got myself into. And, you know, so now you're same team, same locker room, and you're up and down the field on them. You know, that's the frustrating thing is first drive, you go 70-some yards, you got the ball first and goal at the 9 and turn it over. And then next drive, you're down there inside the 30-yard line, third and short, you're getting ready to run a play, you know, it's going to get you a first down, so you're getting ready to score again, and you get the false start. And then you have the third down, you don't get it. And the multiple times that you're down there inside the 10-yard line and you have something called that's there and you should score on and you don't. And the whole game, in my mind, is and there never was a fourth down opportunity where I felt like it was realistic with the game situation, but you knew if you kept kicking field goals, you were going to get your butt beat. And that's against a good football team on the road. That's what I knew in the back of my head, you know. So it's a tough one. I mean, it's you want to get that drive going there. We got the ball back with 5 minutes to go. We don't. They get the ball back. They drive down. You have the 4th and 8. You have another couple of plays where you have a stop. You have the 3rd and 2, and you just don't make the play. And it's we can all play coulda, shoulda, woulda. Should have done this. You should have done this. You should have done this. You should have done this. Well, yeah, it's easy to say that. You looking backwards. We just got to make the play when it's there to be made. And so it's a close game. It's a tough loss, but it's a sign. It's a sign of where the program is. That you're 1-1 in the league. You're 3-3 overall at midseason. With a lot to play for here in the second half of the season.
Do you believe the old adage that says when you take over a program, first you lose big, then you lose small, then you win small, and then you win big, and like the program is right in the middle of losing small and winning small. There's no margin for error.
Yeah, and I've been. This is the third program I've been at where I went through this. We went through it at Lenore-Ryan, very similar situation, completely similar. You went through it at the Citadel. JMU was a different situation. I took over a team that they'd won 8 games the year before. So we went from winning 8 to winning 14 games a year, quick. But it's you go through this because it's all about you got to build the roster, you got to develop the roster, you got to play, teach, because everybody has a philosophy on how you play the game, and everybody's just different. I'm not going to sit and debate who's right and who's wrong. It's just, it's just different. And it's Coach Malzahn and I were talking about that before the UCF game. It's just different. He and Coach Heupel, they're different. And so now you're at the point where you're highly competitive. You're winning some close games. You're losing some close games. You're winning some games big. Fortunately, we're not losing games big. So it's every week you got a great shot.
Pirates at 3-3 on the season, heading to Houston next. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back. We'll wrap things up with Coach Mike Houston after this on the Brian Bailey Show.
Burgers, wings, hand-cut, hand-breaded chicken tenders, fresh salads, and cold beer is the starting lineup at Tiebreakers and has been keeping customers happy for 20 years. Tiebreakers family atmosphere is the perfect place to come watch your favorite team play while enjoying a great lunch or dinner. In a hurry or looking for catering options? Get Tiebreakers to go. That now includes the new curbside pickup by ordering online at tiebreakersnc.com. Tiebreakers.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and made-from-scratch pastas. Check out the 16-ounce cowboy steak and our seafood delight pasta. The Rick House is open for lunch daily from 11 to 2, Monday through Friday. Take a break from your workday with lunch at the Rick House. Join us for our legendary brunch on Sundays from 10 to 2. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
I'm on site at the Gavigan Agency, and you guys have been taking care of my home and auto insurance for years, but I've been noticing that's not all you do.
First and foremost, Brian, thank you for trusting us to help you and your family with your insurance needs. And you're exactly right. We offer a full host of insurance products to help protect our customers' personal and business insurance needs. Let me introduce you to Nathan Brannon, our commercial insurance specialist, and he can tell you about some of the other products we offer.
Great to talk with you, Brian. As John mentioned, I specialize in offering general liability, commercial property, business auto, and workers' compensation insurance to independent contractors, small business owners, and larger commercial customers throughout Eastern North Carolina. As a graduate of East Carolina University, I am passionate about taking care of my fellow pirates.
Wow, sounds like the Gavigan Agency can provide you just about any coverage a business owner might need. So give the Gavigan Agency a call today for any of your personal or business insurance needs and let them show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
Ahoy, mateys! It's Captain Jack Spare of R&R Tire Express. We're here to serve our pirate community by offering easy payments for easy ownership. For you landlubbers, R&R will install a new set of tires for just $20. $50 installs new custom wheels and tires. To learn more about R&R, stop by 3920 US 264 or rnrtires.com.
This is Xavier Smith. Join me and the other Pirate Radio athletes exclusively each Monday on PRL.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
Welcome back to the Brian Bailey Show as we wrap things up with East Carolina head football coach Mike Houston. The Houston Cougars next up on the clock with this Pirate football team, 5-1 on the season. They opened with a loss, 38-21 to Texas Tech, and since then they've won 5 in a row. They're coming off a 40-22 win over Tulane. They haven't played. They had an off week off of a Thursday night game. They've had some extra days to get ready for East Carolina. That's got to be an advantage.
Well, I don't know, 16 days, 14 days, it's a long time, so I don't know how much of an advantage it makes, but, certainly, they're playing at home, that's an advantage. It's going to be a challenging game, 5-1. To be honest, they have an argument for being 6-0. They didn't play very well against Texas Tech. They've had some, several blowout wins. The Tulsa game, I got to see part of that game. Very, very impressive win. As I was sitting there watching it, I was like, holy cow, this bunch is something else. You watch the next week, and, honestly, they didn't play Tulane quite as good as we did. So it gives you a little bit of a comparison there. But, certainly very talented team. They are very stout defensively, one of the top defenses in the country. Very explosive offensively, which that's why that's how you end up with a lot of blowouts is you're good on defense and you can put up some points. So experienced quarterback in Clayton Tune. Nathaniel Dell is having an outstanding season at receiver. Alt McCaskill, freshman running backs, having a big year, leading them with over 400 yards rushing so far. So talented football team. It's their homecoming. It'll be a challenge, but our kids are excited about it. Our coaches are excited about it, so it should be a great one.
Last week when we did your television show, you took us around the locker room and showed us a whole lot of new enhancements at East Carolina, which really make a huge difference in recruiting. But talk about those a little bit. The average fan probably can't see them yet. I'm sure you guys will get some stuff on social media, but it really looked nice.
Yeah, honestly, we started it my first year, so it was, the building was much like everything else. It was just, needed a lot of attention, needed a lot of work, and so we, put a lot into the design phase, but then everything got put on hold with the pandemic. And fortunately, coming out of the pandemic, John Gilbert has assisted me with, meeting with donors, and we've had some loyal Pirates just step up and just make some contributions that just have made a huge difference in the look of the building. And it's it's made the facility where you'll bring recruits in now, and recruits buy with their eyes. How things look is important. And you can't talk about building a first-class program, building a program that's going to compete for championships, and then, it not look like that. So still working on it, not done with those yet. They're working today. Yeah. And but it's, it's really making an impact on just the appearance of the facility. So now when your players walk in, when recruits walk in, they see something that's really first class. The other piece is we've really tried to tie in the history of the program and our former players. We've tried to tie them into the facility, with so many moments over the year, different bowl wins, different championships, different players in the NFL, different players and significant achievements, and so because there wasn't anything around here telling that story, the history of the program. And so I think that's important. It's important that your current players understand what's been here before them. And so, hopefully we can, get some alums in here so they can see that, because they're a big part of it. They're the ones that played the games. And so just important to me to try to tie everybody together. I thought that was, maybe coming in, maybe that's the biggest issue that we needed to address, was just there was so much division. There was division everywhere. And certainly, Chancellor Rogers and John Gilbert have helped me with trying to, bring everybody back together. Trying to bring our fan base back together. Get our alumni, players connected back to the program. Still a lot of work to do on those levels, but we're getting there. It's just like the program. We're getting there. We're getting there pretty quickly.
And it's really hard on radio to visualize everything. I had a chance to see it firsthand. I really like the helmets. Each one of the NFL teams, the half helmet is up on the wall. The first time I saw that, I think, was in at Bank of America Stadium years ago, when it was Erickson Stadium at the time, but the press box up there, they had it all set up like that. And you see it at different venues, but you've got the helmets up, and then if a former Pirate played for that team, they're listed up there. Right. That's got to mean a lot to all your former players, and when they come back, they see their names, and then some of the great, the history of some of the great Pirates, like Chris Johnson and like Robert Jones and his Super Bowl rings, and all that's captured right there.
Yeah, so it's something I want to show to our alumni, to our football Pirates, and it's something that's important, again, for recruiting, but it's important for our current players too. It's a lot of the designs were things I've seen different places. Jarrett Osment, who is our director of creative media, he had a heavy hand in taking some of my thoughts and ideas and putting them into reality, because he does a great job with that. And so it's just a kind of a team effort in putting this stuff together.
And as you said, down the hallway, you've got pictures up from some of the bowl wins, and not only a picture, but you've got a little paragraph that explains what happened, who the Pirates beat in that bowl game. Because I think about the Peach Bowl, and I can tell you who plays in the Peach Bowl, but a lot of these kids, they don't know anything about the Pirate history, finishing 9th in the country that year, back in the 1991 season, the 1992 Peach Bowl, but they can read about the history right there.
Right. Well, none of our players were born then.
Yeah, I know.
I
thought about that.
Yeah, too.
It's
so, I was in college. I remember it.
I was working. I was here. I'm a little older.
But, but nowhere were those stories told. And, I've got so much respect for so many of the former coaches. I've gotten to know so many of the former players, knew some of the former players before, and those people are important to me. And I think it's important to tell those stories of what Skip Holtz was able to achieve here, what Ruffin was able to achieve here, what Bill Lewis was able to achieve here, and so many others. And I've fortunately been able to meet so many former players that played for each of those programs, and I hear the stories that they tell. And because they've all got the stories about the wins and the seasons and the players and the coaches, and just that's what makes this sport great. And I tell our current players, I said, 20 years from now, you're going to be sitting out there in that parking lot tailgating, and you're going to be telling stories about our times together.
Yeah.
And because you're living right now part of history, and I just think it's important to keep all that tied together.
All right, take us through the week this week as you lead up to the Houston game. What do you want to see out of your ball club as we head to Houston on Friday for the game on Saturday?
Well, the travel team will have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, off. So we should be well rested going into Sunday. I've talked to them about the importance of what they do during that off time. They've got to take care of their bodies. They've got to make great decisions. They've got to do a great job of preparing themselves to have a great week. And so I want to see us have a great week of preparation. I want to see crisp practices. I expect Tuesday and Wednesday to be very physical practices. We're going to have to play that way down there to have a shot and pull the win off. And then, Thursday, Friday, going into Saturday's game, just great mental preparation and just really getting our minds mentally prepared for how we're going to have to play that game. And then we've got to go down there with guns blazing. I mean, we've got to go in there, firing on all cylinders and shooting our shot, because it's going to be a challenge. Now, they're a good football team at home, 5-1, homecoming for them. So we're going to have to go down there and really go at them. The great thing is, and it's, as I look at film week to week, I love this team, and I love our shot. And I like our chances going down there. It's going to be a tough one, but it's going to be one we're going to play, and hopefully we can figure out a way to win it and come back with a huge road win.
Coach, I'll tell you this, I appreciate your time today. I certainly appreciate it. It's a real privilege to travel with the team and to host your coaches show, because obviously you're turning this thing around, and I've been around some great coaches at East Carolina. I add you right up in there because we certainly appreciate it. I know Brian Meador does as well, and I know it's hard sometimes. When you're doing that coaching show, we talked about the raw emotion of it. Sometimes it's hard, but I certainly appreciate everything.
Well, I am honored to be here, humbled to be here. I mean, I'm excited to be the head coach at East Carolina. I said it the first day I took the job that when I stepped off that plane, I felt like I was home, and I feel more so now because of how connected Amanda and the boys and I've gotten within this community. And there's no place else I want to be. I look forward to many great wins with our program in the future, and enjoy you guys being along with us. And because the media, and I've told Stephen Igo this, the guys at each of the radio stations, you and Meador, to me, we're all in this together, and you guys help us tell the stories, and that's you're the conduit that we communicate with our fan base and the community. And so it's a deal where we're all in this thing together, and I just appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you, Coach. That's head coach Mike Houston here on the Brian Bailey Show. We'll come back and wrap up our show after this.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
The Angus Grill is the premier location for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us and experience original flavors, quality service, and an upbeat environment. We've got 5 outstanding locations in eastern North Carolina, in Winterville near Pitt Community College, in Wilmington on 4th Street, and 3 locations right here in Greenville, East 10th Street near the Walmart, Jarvis Street in Uptown, and in our newest location on Statensburg Road near the hospital at the former CPW's location. It's the best burger around. Angus Grill.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bells Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
Ooh, look at all that Parmesan cheese on that papadilla. Our freshly folded flatbread filled with juicy meats and melted cheese now has a crunchy, toasty outside. Now that's what's poppin'. Order today at papajohns.com.
Hey, Pirate fans, order the new Parmesan-crusted Papadilla for only $7. The new Parmesan-crusted Papadilla is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in eastern North Carolina. With Blackwood and Mills Creek in Greenville, Dalton's Cove in Farmville, and Belmar in Ayden, these are just a few of the developments featuring BMS Builders homes. They can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or East Carolina football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. BMS Builders. Give them a call at 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
It's Bostic Sugg Furniture's 84th anniversary. Since 1937, Bostic Sugg has built a legacy based on quality furniture, value, and exceptional customer service. Get anniversary savings up to 15% off store-wide, plus 6 months special financing on brands like Lazy Boy, Kincaid, Rowe, Bassett, and more. Plus, for a limited time, get local delivery for only $19.37. Wake up to a whole new you and enjoy 72 months special financing on a new Serta or Restonic mattress now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Pirate Radio.
It's important to me that we're able to connect the past, the tradition of East Carolina football, our current roster, and the future of what this program is going to be.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday, back in the studio as we wrap things up here on The Brian Bailey Show, starting your sports week with our show here on Pirate Radio. Don't forget East Carolina and Houston. Pirates and the Cougars in East Carolina will go to Houston as a 14-point underdog, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. Houston coming off of their win. They also had a bye week. They had an off week after a Thursday night game, so they've had a little bit more time to prepare for that one. Coming up at noon on Pirate Radio, the Bud Light pregame tailgate. So all that's coming up for you on Saturday. From high school football over the weekend, New Bern shuts out J.H. Rose. Very surprised at that score. 48-0 was the final. New Bern came to town and just blasted the Rampants, and I really thought that was going to be a much closer score than it was. D.H. Conley was perhaps the big shocker of the Friday night from last week, because the Vikings went on the road to play a really good Jacksonville team and led 42-7 at halftime on the road, and they won that game 42-21. So led at half 42-7, won the game 42-21. So congratulations to Nate Connor and company for one of the big wins of this football season. That big Carolina 3A, 4A every week, week in and week out. It's just an adventure for those teams. Really good football in that league, and it's playing out. But looks like New Bern now has the upper hand as far as the conference championship is concerned. Coming up this week, New Bern takes on Conley at the Hollywood Crossroads. You can hear that game right here on Pirate Radio. So that'll be a good one to keep an eye on Friday night. I'll be making the trip to Houston with the Pirates to have the Mike Houston show on for Sunday at 11:30 on WNCT. We tape it right after the game is over, and Brian Meador does a great job of putting it all together. So we'll have that for you. And as we update the NFL, we'll bring Clip Brock on, because actually we're going to update the baseball playoffs, because one of us doesn't want to talk much about NFL football these days. But let's update the baseball playoffs.
It's postseason, NLCS, ALCS.
I know.
Who cares about week 7?
Yeah, exactly. They don't hand out the Lombardi Trophy in October, do they? A wise man once said that a long time ago. But congratulations on your Braves.
I'm having
2 walk-offs.
A great sports weekend for me, Bailey, as my Braves knock off the Dodgers Saturday night and Sunday night.
Yeah, knocking off the defending champs, and man, both games were really well played, close games.
Clayton McCullough getting some airtime, and a shout out. So I hate the Dodgers, and then I see him, and I'm like, okay, I don't hate him as much, but man, it's been some really exciting games. The Red Sox hitting a grand slam in the first and second inning.
That was nuts.
On Saturday.
That was crazy, because I was at an establishment in the downtown area, and I was walking up, and I said, is that a grand slam? And they go, yeah, it's the second one they've hit. And I was like, you're kidding me.
8-0 in the second inning.
So that's how that one went. So we're hoping to go. There's a couple of us hoping to go see the Astros and Red Sox in Game 6 in Houston. We're still working on the possibilities, and it's probably still very much a long shot, but we're going to be in Houston that afternoon, so we thought, why not go to the game if we can? So
I was talking to Malcolm Gray, who will
that's one
be
of them.
part of the
Malcolm and Meador, M&M boys.
He is a huge Red Sox fan, so he would love to be there. He is such a baseball junkie.
he's already looked at when ECU plays at Cincinnati in baseball. It's going to be opening day.
He told me that.
And he's got a Sonny Gray connection, and he's going to try to work that for some tickets. So he's fired up for his Red Sox right now.
Well, we got a couple of us working on angles to try to get tickets, but playoff baseball is a little more difficult. I got on StubHub with one of those, and you can get upper deck tickets in the hundreds. I don't know if I want to spend all that much money to go see a game. But
Houston probably be a fun place any place now at the ALCS, but that'd be a fun ballpark.
We visited the ballpark there during the Houston, the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. They were just opening that park.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, and
so probably Minute Maid back then.
That's what it was, and they invited us out, the media, to tour it. So we got a chance to go out, and I thought, man, this is really cool.
Is that when they had the weird hill in center field? Yeah,
they took that down, right?
They got rid of
I thought so. But what was it, Towels Hill or something like that?
I don't know.
It was an old school type deal. It was kind of odd, but they still had that. They had it then. That's when they first built the park, and it was really a neat place to see. But I had never seen a game there.
Did you ever go to the Astrodome? Well, I guess did you go to football games there?
Yeah, the football. The GalleryFurniture.com was in the Astrodome, so that's the only time I've ever had a chance to go to see that building, the seventh wonder of the world.
Yeah,
and it would fit. A bunch of them would fit into some of the stadiums that are being built these days.
Bad News Bears played there, I believe.
I think so. One of the movies. That was a whole movie based on that.
That's right.
They went to Japan in one movie, and they did that. But
we're out of time. Well,
NFL news: those Cowboys won again. That's 5 in a row.
Melissa Bella doing good.
Yeah,
Everybody
they're doing great. They all wore their Cowboy stuff yesterday. So, no, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
how about college football Saturday, Bailey?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you to admit. You kind of like Dallas, don't you? You're starting to root for them.
Did I do something to you that I forgot about?
You do a lot of things that you forget about. Your tweets.
You are killing me today.
No, I do it with kindness. I kill them with kindness. See, I don't come in and I don't tweet out the standings in the NFC East and stuff like that.
I like to notify people about what's happening.
And you know what? Since week 1, I don't think you've tweeted them out.
Well, people can look at the newspaper.
Okay, that's what I thought.
No, every commercial break, Bailey's coming up with he said, when are they going to change the name of Washington? And he'll say, you think they'll keep the same colors? And finally, I was like, stop asking me questions about that awful franchise.
Yeah, stop being nice.
Hey, look, I said it on the air going into the year, my guys to draft this year, I wanted on my teams, fantasy teams, Matt Stafford and, I hate to say it, CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a breakout, and he had the game
And that was
winner.
his breakout game, really, because I drafted CeeDee Lamb in our league, and I was a little disappointed with his numbers. I mean, he's been pretty good. He had a couple of drops early on, but he's a really good player. And the thing I'm really impressed with, I know you're not going to like this part, but the Cowboys are playing such good football right now, and they've got some key elements out right now, and they're going to get those guys back. So I know. La, 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 la.
Look, I said it 3 weeks ago. They're going to win the division by 4 games.
Yeah, and they're up by 3.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to run away with it. The only hope I have now is they host a playoff game and lose.
Yeah,
that's all I got.
Hey, and let me tell you something, that could easily happen. They've got to prove, they've got to have a really good season, and then
as long as Mike McCarthy's there.
Oh, I know. He worries me. I told you during one of the commercial breaks. I said, yesterday right before the half, they blocked the punt and they wanted to force New England to punt again. So you wait until 4th down, you call timeouts, and then they got a punt. Well, he called timeout 3rd down. And that's the only timeout he had left. So they took the timeout. They came back out. Then they took a knee and they went to the halftime because he didn't take the timeout in the right spot.
Well, Kevin Monroe, who's also unfortunately a big Cowboys fan, joins me on the show and said that they have definitely the best talent in the division and potentially the worst coach, which is kind of harsh. We don't know about the Eagles coach yet, but
I'm still torn because I was always a Jason Garrett fan, but I don't remember Jason Garrett ever screwing the clock up as bad as McCarthy had. He had his moments, and he did have some times, but it's just and I love Kellen Moore as a play caller, but I'm thinking that McCarthy's taking over the book whenever they're at the 1 yard line because some of those plays, let's have Dak stick the ball over. I hate that play.
I'm such a nice guy. I texted you last week when they ran that sweet play.
Oh yeah.
What was it, like a fake something, and then they threw it to Zeke for a wide-open walk-in touchdown.
Yeah, and earlier this year they ran a little option with Zeke and Pollard, so that was kind of a cool deal too.
Kind of the friend I am and the person Bailey is back to me.
Yeah, you are the man.
The world to know.
Yeah. All right, let's get out of here. Go Cowboys. I want to thank Mike Houston for all of his time, because it's rare that we get a coach in season like that for the entire hour. So we certainly appreciate his time from the other day, and we have that again for you coming up later on tonight. Next week, we hope to have Pirate basketball coach Joe Dooley. He is tentative as we speak. He's not sure about a recruiting trip, so we'll let you know about that. Next week, it's a short week as East Carolina takes on South Florida on Thursday. But again, it's Houston and East Carolina coming up 4 o'clock. The Bud Light pregame tailgate at noon on Saturday right here on Pirate Radio. Have yourself a great sports week. We'll see you back here next Monday.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, The Gavigan Agency, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, BMS Builders, and The Rick House.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB.